Let's go.
Hey,
we are live.
yo. Kyle is vertical. There we go. All righty. So, folks, we are live, and Kyle's camping right now. We want to talk a little bit about Kellen Moore and the offense and what we should expect this season moving forward. So, guys, let's get into it. Okay, folks, as always, like and subscribe if you do enjoy the content. We talk about all things Chargers. We are the Bolt Bros.
Yes, sir.
Best name in town when you want to talk about the Chargers and everything that is. So, Kyle, you are camping Kyle today. So can you tell everyone what you're doing right now and then what's happening?
Yeah, so right now we're all at the Silverwood Lake. The IE Diehards has put up this campground for the Bolt Fam for the past 4 years. This is like now the 4th year, and it's fantastic. So we're actually about to have a barbecue down by the lake, and we're gonna just have a good time and chillax, relax, and have a few drinks. You know what I'm saying? Like a little bit of a Sunday or Saturday weekend party time. So and I honestly, like, guys, like, anyone who watches this, really needs to actually reach out and find these clubs. And we talk about them all the time, because the more you guys do this, the shorter the off season feels, because you're united with the Bolt Fam again. You get the feeling of football is still around, is always happening, and it's honestly, this is the best time. This is
Awesome.
so great. I did this last time, as you saw from one of my videos. That I only got like 200 views. So if you maybe drop a card on there right now, so you guys can look at that one. The last time I was here,
Awesome.
But yeah, it's amazing. Like, we got Los Rayos out here, we got IE Diehards, we got the Charger Bolt family, we got Bolt Dogs. Shoot, who else? Die Hard Bolt Clubs out here. Like, everybody's out here. Like,
All right.
and if you ain't out here, where the fuck you at?
Okay, very cool. All right, so let's talk about what's going on here. We want to have a conversation regarding how we're going to light up the scoreboard and what that means and what's going on. So let's talk about our boy Kellen Moore real quick. Kellen Moore and what he's done for this Chargers staff ever since he's been here. Guys, obviously the offense talked quite a bit today about this week about the OTAs and what's going on specifically with. And guys, good to see you. Throw your questions out as well too, folks. We're here to have conversations with you. We want to have discussions with you. So throw your questions out. We will, answer as best we possibly can. And Larry, yes, Kyle's camping Kyle today, right? And Matthew Dial, good to see you as well. And obviously GTR, man, good to see you guys. So maybe James and James, why don't you just talk a little bit about Kellen Moore and kind of what your thoughts are on him and, what he's going to do to change this offense moving forward. So what are your thoughts?
Man, just the whole thing and just breaking down kind of what Kellen Moore has done with the Cowboys and now what he's going to do with the Chargers. I mean, it's going to elevate this team.
100%.
And the whole thing about it is like, I've been watching. And I've been just struggling not having football on TV. So I've been watching a lot of 2022 games over again. And gosh, it's frustrating to watch Lombardi. But the thing about it is, like, obviously there was a lot of injuries. There was a lot of issues. O-line, Herbert injured really early on in the season. They had to kind of change things up, but it just seemed like too simple of an offense all the time. And I believe Kellen Moore, just like the title of our video here, he's going to light up the scoreboard.
100%.
He's going to make it exciting. Even to say that on top of that, like Keenan Allen talked about in his interview, just to throw just a little bit of tidbit on that. He said, we got Mike Will, we got Keenan Allen, we got Quentin Johnson. Yeah, we're going to throw downfield. And that's what us as fans want to see from Kellen Moore. And we feel very confidently that this offense is really, really going to be built to be an absolute juggernaut. So I'm excited about it all around. I'm excited what Kellen Moore is going to be able to bring into this. So I'm ready for it. I'm ready to see this offense to be completely unleashed and Herbo bombs and a lot of touchies. We'll talk about it.
A lot of touchies.
Yeah, boy. Touchies.
Yeah, they trademark here, boys and girls. Trademark here. Touchies,
Touchies, baby.
So in the chat, I know we got people piling in right now. So in the chat, why do you think Kellen Moore is the right guy for us? Or maybe you don't think he is. So throw your thoughts out as well, too, guys. Again, pros, cons, all the above. Kyle, what's your thoughts about Kellen Moore so far in OTAs and what's going on? And Larry's saying top 5 offense, maybe top 5 defense. I hope so. I think we only need to be a top 10 defense, period. And that's it, and we'd be fine. So, Carlos.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree. We're definitely going to go top 5 offense again this year. Like, I mean, at least Justin Herbert's is a top 5 quarterback no matter what. And I mean, honestly, I like what I see Kellen Moore talking about our offense, how we he loves the weapons that we have right now.
Yep.
And he's developing the playbook for them specifically, and that's going to be huge, huge, like, because he's going to know, like, I mean, being an offensive minded coach with a quarterback in, like, history, he knows, like, just like, okay, you got to adjust with whatever weapons you have on the field. And so let's just think back to Joe Lombardi. Dang it. Think back to Joe Lombardi. Yeah. My phone keeps like kind of like dying or turning off, so like it switches me up a little bit. So
got it.
Just thinking back to the Joe Lombardi using Michael Bandy to run straight into the freaking edge defender, because like, oh yeah, no matter who's out there, well, they'll be able to run the play 100%, right? Nah, man, that ain't how it works. So
yep.
But that's what I see Kellen Moore doing out there already.
Yeah, and so this is a great question from Larry Castro. So, by the way, just so you know, here's how the offensive line is going to look. Rashawn Slater, Zion Johnson, Corey Lindsley, and then it's
later
Jamari Sawyer, and then Pipkins. Pipkins ain't easy. So those are the 5 right there, guys. So the cool thing is specifically Kellen Moore talked quite a bit about this, and he actually specifically said, bottom line, folks, the left side is going to be massive. Okay, so let me talk about 2 things. 2 things in the pass game and also in the run game. Allen said this, and then also Jamari Sawyer said that, or sorry, not Jamari Sawyer, Rashawn Slater said this in the interview this week. And by the way, just so you know, folks, I was actually going to do this video on Friday, and it was just going to be me. And then I thought, man, this is more of a conversation for everybody, and I want to talk to all of you folks about this because it matters. Like, we want to engage with you guys. So again, like and subscribe. Just be involved in this. And I want you guys to be involved in this conversation. But what he specifically came out and said, Allen said this, Rashawn Slater said this, Moore is simplifying the offense. Speaking of offensive line, he's simplifying run blocking and pass blocking as well, keeping it extremely simple. So guess what? And Rashawn Slater said this, and so did Keenan Allen said this, so we can play fast. Think about that for a second, guys. James and I are both in sales. What's the first rule of sales, James? Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, stupid. And Lombardi, man, he made these plays way too complicated. Too complicated. And so Kellen Moore is just going to make it real simple. And that was really the main point I wanted to bring home on Friday. But again, I think it's great to have a conversation and what we think. And defensive line, again, it's going to be, we're talking about offense right now, Larry. But again, it would be SJD, Morgan
Austin
Fox,
Johnson.
And then Austin Johnson. That's really going to be our main D lineman. But again, Tito's coming back. You never really know how it's going to play out. I think they're going to put a rotation on defensive line. Anyways, pass to you guys on specifically around simplifying the offense.
Well, the one thing about it is that the 11 personnel, 12 personnel that you'll probably end up running on this too. Talking about our O-line and everything too, and what we're basically going to be looking at and simplifying things, I think that we're just going to be overloading their defensive line basically.
100%. Yep.
So if you start looking at the 11, it's generally going to be a, your 5-man offensive line, but then an added tight end with 3 wideouts at that point. So you got to think that's a matchup nightmare in a general sense. You got Keenan, Mike Williams, and Quentin Johnston, or it could be also, Palmer or whatnot. And then you got Austin Eckler to deal with in the back end too. That's a tough situation to deal with. And then when you got a 12 personnel, you're going to be dealing with a little bit more of a higher amount of people on the O-line with double tight ends on the edge. Now, usually it's a 4-man rush, 5-man rush. Sometimes people go with a 6-man rush. even on a 12 personnel, it's an overloading of them to force them to say, hey, look, I don't think you could come into us because we have more men on our line versus your men on your O-line.
Yep.
And then on top of that, you got some threats on the outside too. Say if it's, Quentin Johnston, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, whatever variation we got to work with, plus a couple tight ends on the O-line. Pick your poison at that point, boys. And then you still have, Austin Eckler in the back end. So I think it's really about just saying, hey, our O-line is going to be bigger than your O-line or your D-line. We're going to be able to just do more to protect Justin Herbert all around. And I think we're going to have an awesome offense all around. And our O-line is going to look extremely good this year, in my opinion, because of simplifying the whole offensive line or offensive scheme, but just simply overloading them. And
100%.
That's the key. So, Kyle, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we actually talked about it a little bit while we were driving up this way, because I came out here with Renergy. He's another one of the elite super fans and stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's like, look, man, at the end of the day, like, it's all about just staying healthy. Our team, like, because we have the exact same team that we had from last year with a few minor adjustments or whatever. But that injuries thing just got us. Like, we could have had the division if our injuries didn't get us, last year. And so, like, and that was just it. Like, we didn't have Rashawn Slater. Jamari Sawyer stepped up in a huge way. And now with him actually showing up and actually being on that right guard position, that's going to be big too, because to shore up our right side a little bit more with Pipkins there. Him and Pipkins is going to be a freaking amazing combo.
100%.
Yeah. And so, I'm just really excited to see, like, how this all shakes out. And of course, Corey Lindsey got injured several times. He was in and out, so, and hopefully now at this point, that's kind of like makes Will Clapp put him on watch, because, he knows that he needs to step up a little bit more, when he has to.
Yeah. And to your point on that, Kyle, like, when you simplify an offense, which is exactly what Kellen Moore is going to do, it makes it easier for someone like a Will Clapp to come in and you don't miss a beat, right?
Yeah.
That's
right.
Again. Okay. So let me tell you one reason why I hated Lombardi the most. He made it so Justin Herbert had to be perfect for us to win. In the chat, folks, Larry, everybody, do you think that's smart? He put everything on Justin Herbert. He made it very difficult. Modern day NFL offenses, look at the Niners, look at all these other teams. They don't care about that. They make it simple and create space for plays. So you don't have to be perfect. The quarterback doesn't have to be perfect. Now, by the way, we're going to review. Just so you know, moving forward, we're going to review what Dak Prescott did as an entire season statistically, and also what he did in the playoffs. And then we're also going to talk about Justin Herbert, what he did statistically this last season, and what he did in the playoffs. So it's hard because you're making everything 100% on Justin Herbert, and that stresses out a young quarterback. So secondarily, it just doesn't work out. So, all right, let's answer Larry's question real quick, and then we'll go. So how about Nick Williams and that D-line? By the way, I think Nick Williams is going to be absolutely amazing. I think it's an amazing pickup. By the way, when we picked up Austin Johnson, guess who took Austin Johnson's role? It was Nick Williams at the Giants. Yeah. So it's hilarious. We got Austin Johnson. Now we have Nick Williams. We have so much depth on the defensive line. I'm excited to see what we do differently there. It's going to be exciting. So
yeah, and the one thing too about signing like a guy like Williams, it's really kind of stabilizing things, I think, a little bit more for us on our D-line, putting more experience on that D-line. Plus, also if Otito's knee is not really 100%, he's also ready to go too. So it's really just kind of giving layers of, veteran presence versus like having guys like a Forrest Merrill or I think Fehoko was a phenomenal player all around, but like, it's putting guys that have been there, done that, and been in the league for a while. And I think it's a really good move to be able to have that kind of low end base signing with a high potential for us for depth.
Well, and one thing I would also say too is the thing that frustrated me about Lombardi is one, guys, if you watch the Brett Coleman videos on the running and the passing, here's the thing: simplifying the offense, being aggressive, exploiting their weaknesses. If they run bare fronts, they run tight fronts. If they run light boxes, don't do the same goddamn plays over and over again and expect a different result. That's called the definition of insanity. We were horrible in scoring touchdowns in the third quarter, but guess what? Kellen Moore was almost one of the best in scoring touchdowns in the third quarter because he adapted, and we never did that last season. So, again, it's huge to see that, right? And look, you're exactly right, G. Flores. Brady did well, and he didn't have the best teams around him, but he exploited what was in front of him, and he made them pay for what they did. Yep, and by the way, this is a great point. GTR, man, Corey Linsley is going to be key. He needs to stay healthy. Do we trust his backup stepping up if he goes down? So here's my thing. I already talked on it briefly. Will Clapp is good. The coaching staff likes him. Again, he's not by the way, Corey Linsley is arguably the best center in the league, just so you know. So a step down is, unfortunately, the man is going to be, graded very heavily on what he did. Yeah. But my point is, Will Clapp will be okay. But I think Kellen Moore, no matter what, is going to make it simple for Corey Linsley to at least do a decent job, or Will Clapp to do a decent job if he comes in. James Kyle, what's your thoughts on GTR man's question?
Yeah, it's a hard situation when you go from a guy, say, like Corey Linsley to the next guy. Right. You're always going to be beat up. I mean, it's kind of the same idea when LaDainian Tomlinson left, we drafted Matthews, and we expect LaDainian Tomlinson out of Matthews. It doesn't work. That just doesn't work that way. So it's very hard in a hard transition to go from, that or whatnot. I mean, we've had those conversations that Zion Johnson could potentially end up being a center for us too. We've talked about other guys that could shift around. Maybe even McFadden, who we just drafted, could be another guy that could step in as a center too. So I'm not 100% sure on that, but at the same side, I'm sure the Chargers and Kellen Moore, offensive line coaches, probably figured things out a little bit. Like, hey, this is going to be our team A. If this player goes down, this is who will go in as a center, and so on and so forth, and they'll shift the line accordingly. Personally, in my opinion, try to keep the guys that are in where they're at as team one, leave them where they're at, but then hopefully like McFadden or, Brandon Hymus, I don't know, Will Clapp, if he's going to be the guy, he's going to be the guy. But once again, if it's simplified, anybody could go in there and do their job. And that's the big key about it.
Keep it simple, stupid. Kyle, what's your thoughts?
Right. Yeah, I mean, so I would say this, though, too, is like, we got to keep it simple, but we also need to make it, I guess, complex enough that it makes the defenses second guess what we're actually going to do, though. So
he talked about that a lot. Kellen Moore talked about that a ton.
100%. Yeah. It's like, so you need to, I mean, obviously, let's be perfectly honest. Like, athletes are smart, and we got Justin Herbert. He was a marine biologist. I got a bunch of flies in my face over here. So
yeah, camping, man. That's camping, babe. That's it. That's
camping. That's right. I didn't bring a bug spray, so whatever. So, and then Zion Johnson is like a computer scientist, like in freaking like a straight up hacker or whatever, Yep. But football is a simple sport in a lot of ways, like you run here. And you block here, whatever like that, like it's like you got to make a hole here, whatever like that, so you got to keep it simple. And that's going to be important, like you say, like, just to cookie cut these situations where because no matter what happens, players are going to go down. It's just sports, we are going to get injuries, just a matter of who's going to get injured. And the next person up needs to be ready and armed and ready to go that same day, and ready to step up. So,
well said, Kyle. That's perfect. And by the way, this is a great comment by G. Flores. Right, red zone production with Kellen Moore is absolutely spectacular. Yeah. I think he led the league in red zone production with a subpar quarterback. And guys, we're gonna go through it right now. And by the way, Larry Castro, good point here. Keep it simple, stupid. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, folks. One bite at a time. That's all.
I was going to say something about G. Flores' comment about the red zone production. If you guys kept up on some of the notes for OTAs, they had red zone, practice basically. I think it was, I want to say it was Easton Stick. He was like 7 for 7 in red zone to get touchdowns.
Yep.
And then they showed Max Duggan. He was like perfect too in the red zone situation. Now, once again,
hey.
Yo, what up? Let's go.
Hey, yo,
double gimbal.
double gimbal. Hey, this is Renergy back here.
What up? What
Yeah,
up, everybody?
He's
How you guys doing?
He's the
What
guy
up,
that
David?
I came
What
up here
up?
with. Yeah.
How
So-
we
What
doing?
up, guys?
Good to see
Yeah,
you.
I'm gonna have to interview him one of these days too, like, because he's got a lot of good information for us.
I
So
love
yeah,
it.
No, we need to
Let's
do
do it.
that.
Yeah.
We need to do that, guys.
Yeah.
And guys, as always, like, this is why we do this. We want to get out. We want to be part of the community. We're not getting paid for this, folks. I mean, let's just be clear. We're here doing this for you guys. So we want to make this happen. So
What up, Pablo?
Right. Pablo, what's up, guys? How we doing? And by the way, G Flores, I agree. I think, look, we're going to be aggressive.
Massive.
So, okay. I'm probably going to do a video on this. And I started thinking about, I was like, man, this is such a broad topic. So I'm going to continue discussing how we're going to be different as far as defense is concerned. I will say this also. I don't know that we're going to be very different on defense. I think the defense is going to be very simplified and very easy. But moving forward, I think the offense is going to be huge. So why don't we go into what Dak Prescott did last season, and then also what he did in the playoff games, just to sort of illustrate. And then we're going to talk about Justin Herbert, and we'll go from there. And by the way, that would be awesome. We'd love to have you out there.
Primo Pablo. I thought you were supposed to be out here, man. What's going on, man?
Why are you playing hard to get? That's not cool, bro.
Yeah, man. Hey, come on out, baby. Come on out. Hey, it's only a few hours drive. Yeah, we out here, man. We're gonna be out here all day. Come on out.
And so, guys, this is a great example of what Dak Prescott did, right? Okay, passer rating 91.1%. Completion percentage 62.2%. Yards, look at that, 2,800 yards, just a little over 2,800 yards. 23 touchdowns and 15 interceptions. Okay, so we're gonna eventually show you Herbert's numbers, but here's the thing: he worked the sidelines 100%.
Yeah.
So that's what he did. But it was all vertical. It was all around 10 yards. I'm expecting very similar type of production. Now, just remember, out of 11, which is 3 wide receivers, they passed the ball a little over 60% of the time. Out of 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, they ran the ball 63% of the time. So it didn't matter. You kind of knew what they were going to do depending on the personnel that they had in there, right? But it was just enough to keep them a little off guard. They're like, okay, they should run it here. Oh, wow, they passed. Oh, that was weird. We didn't expect that, right? And so that's where you start getting the big plays and you start setting up the defense for the aggression that's going to happen. So what are your thoughts on Prescott here? I mean, guys, what are your thoughts? Where does Prescott sit compared to Herbert, right? PFF has Herbert at like 4th. Dak is like 15th, I believe. So what are your thoughts about Dak compared to Justin Herbert and the offense? James, Kyle, let's go from there.
Yeah.
And in the chat, give us your thoughts.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing to kind of look at, because working the edges like that, we really didn't ever really work any edges by any means for Justin Herbert last season. I actually just pulled up the screenshot of what Justin Herbert did last year. And actually, it was kind of interesting because there was a little bit more downfield than I pretty much ever expected to be able to see. But it was more like downfield middle and then to under 10-yard type throws. And then his green zones were slightly plus 10 on the left side. So they really spread the ball out quite a bit with Justin Herbert. But I do expect with the weapon.
Hey, we all know Herbert's better than Dak. Come on now.
Oh, big time.
We all know that. We all know that.
Big time. But with the weapons that Justin Herbert has and Kellen Moore is going to have, you're going to see a lot more downfield passing all around with this team. I mean, once again, Dak Prescott didn't have a full season last year. He was injured also too.
Yep.
But man, I cannot wait to just see what's going to happen with this team, because I really think that Justin Herbert's got a phenomenal arm, way better arm than Dak. He's going to have a much more ability to not throw as many interceptions like Dak did. It was 23 and 15, basically. That's not a very good ratio all around. So I think it's going to be an exciting thing to be able to see Kellen Moore and what Justin Herbert could do. It's going to be awesome. Awesome to see.
What do you think there, Kyle?
I think Dak is a moron. Straight up. Yeah.
Okay.
So actually, and here's proof actually to it as well. It's like actually I saw a video recently where a guy actually looked at quarterbacks' high school GPAs and stuff like that. Guess what Dak Prescott's GPA was at that time?
Oh God.
Oh boy.
Wait, high school.
1.7.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So yeah,
He's worn a helmet his entire life, and not in a good
yeah,
way.
basically.
Yeah.
So realistically, like, I don't feel like he really applied himself to learn how to study very well.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I'm pretty sure that's why Kellen Moore was smiling ear to ear when he actually was running alongside Justin Herbert, like, during OTAs. He's like, oh my gosh, I have someone who actually wants to do something. He wants to read the playbook. He wants to understand, like, what I'm trying to do here. And so, like, that Kellen Moore he's like a kid in a candy store right now. He's just like,
see, that's a great point, Kyle. I didn't know it was that low.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that low. That's crazy. Wow.
Well, and the big thing too, Kellen Moore got let go or whatever happened with the Cowboys. And then instantly signed with the Chargers. He knew who he had at the Chargers. He had Justin Herbert. He had a top 3 quarterback in the league. I'll put him as a top 3, top 5 at the league, at the worst for him. He knew what he had. And so he jumped all over that opportunity. And it's going to be exciting to see how much he develops Justin Herbert. Once again, MVP season loading for Justin Herbert this year.
So here's the thing. I'm going to make an interesting comment about this too. I think the Chargers were actually a side hoe for our boy Kellen Moore, right? He was DMing in Instagram. Brandon Staley, hey man, things are heating up here. The Cowboys, man, I got to get my ass out of here.
It was quick.
Hey, it happened fast, folks.
It was quick.
It did.
I think the conversation was already set in motion, and he's like, I don't want to be here anymore. Can I come over? Then he walked in, had a conversation with Mike McCarthy. He said, man, you're a dipshit, you suck, blah blah blah. Can I leave? Yeah, and that's a good point. And by the way, GTR, man, this is great. I'm salving a thought that Herbo will have a better O-line. Look, so let me be very clear about something. They do a lot of zone reads in running at the Cowboys. Again, make this very clear. Kellen Moore didn't say they're going to run the same offense they ran with the Cowboys. They're going to run something very different, right? We're just looking at what they did, and this is kind of maybe what to expect, but we don't really know, right? So there's, I think, a lot of motion, a lot of verticals. I think you're going to see a lot of really interesting plays. And by the way, Boise State, when Kellen Moore was there, they ran a lot of trick plays. Starting tight end, we all know that's going to be Everett. That's not even a conversation. He's exactly the guy. I do also think that we're going to probably see Horvath run in a lot of different ways. He'll probably come in as sort of a tight end / fullback as well, more for blocking and potentially going in on the flat. I do think that'll happen as well too. Aether's here. How we doing, my friend? Let's make it happen.
Aether.
What's up, my baby?
What's up?
What's up, my baby? And by the way, so this is some interesting notes on the game. I think this was against who was this against? A playoff
the Niner game?
Oh, it was Niners. Yeah, it was Niners.
Yep.
Dude, Dak had a great game. Look at this. But again, he was 25 for 33. But look at the vertical threats, right? Everything was around 20. A couple down underneath here and there. Guys, he spread the ball around really well, right? And there was a lot of distribution. Again, we're going to show Herbert's numbers. And we're going to show what he did in the playoff game against the Jags. And I know we don't want to relive that conversation, folks. But here's the point, right? You start seeing what Lombardi did wrong and what Kellen Moore is going to do right in distributing the ball correctly, right? I guess that's what we're getting at with this, right? I don't want you to think that, okay. What's another thing that we say in sales, James? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right?
Yep.
Kellen Moore is great at understanding how to adjust to the defense that's in front of them. So, look, just understand there's better ways of getting things done. There's better ways of creating space. I also do believe in offense, we're going to have a lot of rotation of players. You're going to see Darius Davis. You're going to see Jalen Guyton. You're going to see a lot of rotation of players. We got some older wide receivers, folks. We want to keep them healthy in the fourth quarter. So I think that's going to really happen as well, too. So,
yeah, most definitely. No,
what's up, Danny? How you doing?
The one thing, yo, what up?
Over here.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'm videotaping you.
I love it. I love it.
Yo.
Hey,
Ventura County, 805.
Yes, 805 Ventura County Die-Hard Bolt Club right here. Yeah, this is Danny. Yeah, man. If you guys are up in the valley right there, hit them up. Like, get part of the Die-Hard Bolt Club. It's fantastic.
Yes,
you
got beaches and everything. Everybody's welcome. Open arms. Nothing but character love.
Love it.
Videotaping you guys.
Love it,
Let me go harass
Love
other
it.
people.
Let's do it.
Guys. Much love.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Boys.
Hey, tell other people to kind of swing by too.
Yeah, and again, guys, that's why we do this, folks. Right? We want to connect with the community and everyone out there, and all you guys. This is the whole point. This, especially this live episode, folks. This is 110% for you guys, not for us, right? And again, it's awesome to have this conversation with you folks. All right, so let's talk a little about Herbert real quick, and kind of go into some of the statistics Herbert did last season, right? Because it is interesting to take a look at what he did. And again, let's set the table on this conversation first, folks. Guess what? Justin Herbert had fractured rib cartilage. He had
Torn labrum.
Week 16. Folks, this is tough, dude. Like, he was not healthy. Guys, he was not healthy. And oh my gosh, right? Yeah.
But he's still got a 93.2, bro.
It better than Dak.
So did well. Yeah.
Better than Dak. Better completion rates. Almost double the yards. 25 touchdowns was exactly what Dak had. And by the way, I'm going to be very clear about something. The offensive coordinator can scheme people open. You look at the Niners, Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, was amazing when he stepped in. Less interceptions than Dak Prescott as well, too. But look, he distributed the ball. Nothing was under the league worst average. He spread the ball around quite a bit. We're going to also show what he did in the playoff game as well against the Jags, which, again, we don't want to relive that conversation. But it just goes to show you what happened moving forward. And Pablo, thank you very much. And you're right, man. Like, look, they want to confuse what they're doing, right? They want to show one thing and do another. Again, I do think there's going to be a lot of motion. There's going to be a lot of motion around, and there's going to be a lot of just moving the ball vertical. One of the things I've also saw about Kellen Moore with his pass plays, there's always a vertical threat and split the safety. Then all Herbert has to do is decide, is the middle field open? Is the safety split? Do you have man up front? The whole point is keep it simple for Justin Herbert to make the right read and throw the ball downfield. So
hey, we got some more guests right here. Yeah,
absolutely. Bring them over.
Hey, let me see.
Breaker 619, how we doing? Good to see you.
Yeah, fix the camera so we can see us better.
Oh, I love this. I love this, guys.
There you go.
What's up? Hey,
fix the camera so we can actually see. There you go.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Inland Empire, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, there you go.
Riverside diehards.
Love it, folks.
What up,
Yeah.
dude?
Yeah, what's up?
Love the
What
flag.
do you guys think?
Isaac over here.
Isaac?
Louis.
Felipe?
Gator.
Gator!
Salamander, bro. You know.
Salamander. Hey, no, the ladies call it salamander, right?
Hopefully our running backs are wiggly this year, huh?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Show's already coming off. I love it, guys. It's awesome.
Let's go diehard.
Go.
Roll up.
Yeah, bolt up, boys.
Guys, and honestly,
Yeah, boy.
this is why we do it, folks.
Yeah.
We want to
All right, man. Y'all be here. We're going to go have a cold beer.
Yeah, man. You guys should be here too, bro.
No, no doubt.
I know.
No doubt.
So,
Okay.
Pablo,
Where are we at?
Yeah.
Okay,
To his house.
they're still talking around us, so yeah. Hey, let me just mute it so you guys can keep going.
okay, go ahead. Yep, you're good. So, guys, Pablo Hernandez says, "Hey, fellas, tight end are going to be by the committee." Look, I also think there's going to be specific roles for tight ends, right? Like you'll probably see more of a blocking tight end in the middle, more 12 personnel. I think they're going to be switching things around, right? Kellen Moore is very inventive. Guys, if you ever saw him at Boise State, man, they did things very, very interesting. I mean, it was just really great stuff, right? So, good question by Larry Castro. Again, this is defense. I know we did a whole video on this. James, you did the video on Gerard Clark. So what are your thoughts on him starting a little bit this season?
I think that's going to be dictated based upon what happens in the preseason. We'll see if he really gets out there and plays well. I mean, once again, he did the whole video I created. They said Gerard Clark, let me talk correctly here, has shown out pretty well. And I mean, Khalil Mack spoke to him about him specifically, and he's like, we got some dudes out here. Like, we got some really good undrafted free agents, and he is playing with the one. So he's getting his looks. He's got his chance. I think there's a good chance he could get out there. Now, once again, I don't want his chance to be out there if there's injuries on the D line again, but at the same side, what if you have him as like a first down kind of nose tackle? Just a guy who could be a space eater. That's what you want.
Plug it up.
I'm good with that. If you could have him out there, a 335 nose tackle out there that could just be butt and gut, fill them gaps. Let's go. Like, I'm ready for that. Look, how many times did we have a lot of first down situation? We'd run the ball, get 1 yard, 0 yards, and then we're stuck in a passing situation for second and third down.
100%. Sucked.
Let's try to do that to our opposition versus giving up 5 to 6 yards a run. And find a way to be able to fill those stupid gaps so we don't get eaten up on the ground, dude. Like, it's so frustrating. Make it harder on them. Come on. Let's go.
Yep. This is a good point by Willie, right? As long as the offense can and line protect Herbert and create holes for Spiller, Horvath, red zone. Like, I think we might see some 2 running back sets. We're going to see some pretty exotic type of formations, right? Aether says, my only concern about the offense is in the first 2 weeks because the coach doesn't play anyone in preseason. Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that, right? I think a lot of times, we sit back and kind of wait. Oh, we're going to be great. We're going to be great. We're going to be great. And then it is what it is, right? Yeah. But again, we don't want to have injuries going into the season, right? That's the concern. So
yeah, 100%. Well, and the one thing too, like even in Brandon Staley's little clip videos and audio clips through OTAs and everything, he talks a lot about just being ready, being at tip-top shape for when the season does start. And that's really what it's all about right now. Now, once again, game speed versus running around in your underwear, basically without pads and all that kind of stuff is different versus, being on field and actually really playing a game.
Wait, you got hidden cameras at my house or something like that, bro?
Yeah, that's it. I knew it, dude. I knew it.
What are you talking about? Hey, actually, that's a lie. That's a lie. I'm commando all the time.
Commando, baby.
Right.
Let's go.
Ain't nobody wants to see that. Ain't nobody wants to see that. But Pablo, good point. Like Boise State plays Statue of Liberty. That was so sick. That was against Georgia, by the way, right? Yeah. So absolutely amazing, dude. And look, here's the thing. You got to risk it for a biscuit, dude. And I'll tell you, that's a big part of what not
a biscuit, brisket, brah.
Brisket. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah.
Risk it for the brisket. Let's say that, dude. Let's make a shirt out of that one.
That's right. That's right.
And by the way, GTR man, that's great. Tom Telesco has not gotten a lot of credit for specifically this actual draft. I think he's done a great job.
Yeah.
Defensive lineman, offensive lineman. By the way, McFadden is awesome. I'm very excited about him. What do you guys think? Should we do a deeper, wider video series on all of the drafted folks that we have? Because I kind of wanted to do one on Quinton and some of these other folks. What do you guys think? Should we do one going into again, we're in the off season, folks, right? So we got to create content for you guys. And so do you want us to do something like that, a little deeper, wider for all the folks that we picked up? Yeah. And Pablo, question, Kyle, are you guys grilling yet at this point?
Yeah. Yes, we are. Yeah, they are grilling right now. It's I thought that we were actually going to go down to the water side to grill, but we're actually doing it right here on the campground. Come on, Pablo. There's going to be plenty of food. You got to get up here, bro. Yeah. Oh, so I got another guest here for you real quick. What's up, y'all?
Hey, how you doing?
Yay. So what's your name?
My name is Jorge George Iglesias Ventura.
The Die Hard Bolt Club?
Die Hard Bolt Club, Ventura County. Yes.
Yeah, that's what's up.
That's right.
Yeah. Well,
we represent
Laura. Hey, Laura?
My wife Laura. Yes. We're representing Ventura County. Yes. Come on down. Let's have a good time. We're a big happy family.
That's right.
Get on down here and enjoy.
That's right. Please do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. You guys have a good one.
Perfect.
Yep. Have a good time.
Hey, Pablo, you got called out, dude. You better get your butt down there, dude.
Yeah, Pablo.
Where are you at, son?
Pablo Hernandez. He's out in the Die Hard Bolt Club from Orange County. Yeah. We're calling you out, bro.
Yeah.
That's right. You gotta get down there. Hey. But one of the things I think about a lot too is like, okay, this is what Justin Herbert did last season, right? Bottom line in the playoff game, man. This is just so frustrating. Like one TD. 273 yards, 25 for 43. And guys, we all know he had a torn labrum, rib cartilage. We don't know what the situation is, man. And but look at this. Nothing was down even past the 20. Well, there was one, and it went, didn't even work. That's bad scheming, right? You cannot blame that on Justin Herbert, dude. And so that's my frustration. That's my frustration.
And you look at a lot of, like, say, the middle of the field on that chart. It's a lot of green, which looks like a lot of like curl routes, which is basically what he did.
That's exactly what he did.
A lot of curl routes right there in the middle. A lot of the line behind the scrimmage or at the line of scrimmage. You're not really doing winning football, in my opinion. You're doing conservative football at that point. And you're not really trying to find a way to be able to put the player in the best position to succeed. So once again, it's just a hard thing to look at, and it's very, very tough. And personally, the thing is, of the stats that Dak Prescott had versus the Niners versus Justin Herbert versus the Jags, there is faults that Justin Herbert did where he did have a Keenan Allen wide open. He threw the ball a little high out to him at the red zone. His stats could have been better and should have been better for that game. But, it is what it is. It's water under the bridge now, boys.
So let me say one thing about that too. We got 13 yards rushing the second half of that game.
Yeah. We stopped.
How fucking horrible is that, guys? Mm-hmm. Think about that for a second, dude. That sucks. That was not Justin Herbert's fault, right?
No.
That's an offensive coordinator's fault. That's my point, right? And so it's ridiculous. And then Angel here, rookies contribute. Zion, Jamari, Jasir. And by the way, Jasir's looking pretty good. Leonard Taylor's looking really good. We got a lot of people looking good in crank camp right now, folks. We're going to keep talking about all of them. 13 freaking yards, guys. We couldn't get freaking 20 yards?
Yep.
Man. Come on, dude. Okay.
Ridiculous. Hey, by the way, we're probably about, for training camp opening day, I'm assuming it's probably going to end up being, man, I just can't wait to freaking see football and being in front of the Chargers and being at training camp and seeing everybody there. We're probably looking at the weekend of 28th of July, man. We're getting close, guys. Like, we're getting close. And
that's crazy. That's just less than 2 months out.
Less than 2 months out, guys. Like, I cannot wait to be able to be out there and enjoy some Chargers footballs, hang out with the fans. I mean, that's a great.
Well, you know what? I actually have a connection with the Chargers itself. We actually probably going to get on the field itself, and we'll probably be doing a live right then. I know, right? I'm going to start doing my training. I'm going to do my training.
Let's go. Hands.
Yeah, hands.
Quick feet. Let's go.
Quick feet. That's right. Let's go, baby.
That would be fantastic. No, I'm excited about that, man. I'm really looking forward to training camp, and I'm looking forward to make a weekend out of it for sure. So it's going to be awesome.
Well, and I tell you, Willie, good point, right? Xander Horvath should be able to run up the middle, right? That guy converted linebacker. I just really see running back by committee moving forward. Yep. By the way, our boy did talk quite a bit about how we really think that it's going to be a running back by committee. I think JK looks really good. And also, we haven't heard a whole lot about Spiller at this point, but I do think Xander is going to be good moving forward. And Matthew, let's talk about our cornerback depth. I do think our cornerback depth is going to be solid, right? Again, Dean Leonard's looking good. Jasir Taylor looking good. Again, I would love to get a better safety, but what are your thoughts, Sir James and Kyle?
Well, it's interesting because in the last live, I think the Brisket Broads brought up about going out and signing another cornerback. I mean, we could go out there and still get what's our guy that was our slot guy?
Oh my God!
Bryce Callahan.
Callahan. I mean,
Callahan
we can still go out there and get him. Yeah, Callahan
Auto Parts.
Callahan Auto.
I mean, we could still go out there and get him, but I do think that there's a side that our cornerback depth is going to be contingent on if J.C. Jackson could be ready week 1, in my opinion. And I feel like J.C. Jackson, and why we didn't draft anybody in this draft for cornerback position, is because I think they feel very confident in J.C. Jackson. I mean, they got a lot of money invested in him.
Yep.
But even to say if we didn't have J.C. Jackson, you still got Mike Davis, you still got Asante Samuel Jr., who still balled out pretty much all last year, did extremely well. Jasir Taylor,
we love you, Larry.
I think would be phenomenal. And Dean's been doing well in training camp so far too. So I feel good about it. J.C. Jackson is just the cherry on the top, or cherry on the top of the cake, or whatever it is. He
Oh,
basically
cherry on the
went and
cake.
got it for us.
The cake or whatever, some damn thing, whatever.
Cake,
anyways.
Yeah.
whatever, cherry, something or other, you know. Icing
Well-
on the cake. Icing on the cake. I think I blended both of those
Icing on the
together.
cake. Yeah,
There
cherry
you
on
go.
the cake. Wow.
Or the
okay,
cherry
there we
on
go.
top, I think is what it's called, dude. Just the cherry.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
The icing on the cake, dude. The icing on the cake. I love it, dude. Yeah. And you're right. JC's looking good, man. Like JC's looking good. And Khalil Mack, man, I tell you, I was going to do a longer video about this week. I did a short on it, right? And I do really think that bottom line, we could probably get 25 sacks between Mack and Bosa if they could stay healthy. I mean, please, God, stay healthy. But Thule's looking good. Yep. We got to see what happens with Rump Shaker, dude. And look, hey, Floyd, James did a video on Floyd. Who knows, that might happen as well, too. I mean, come on now, man. Like, there's just so much going on. And, dude, I'm just telling you, folks, like, this team just needs to stay healthy. But we still have not gotten a head athletic trainer at this point, which is hilarious to me. So you got to ask yourself.
Well, you ain't turned your resume in, bro. Come on, man. I'm telling you. Hey, you need a job. We got an opening right there, bro.
Make it happen. Make it happen.
And you got Bolt. Hey, we like to call you Peck-Man after all. So come on now, let's do it.
Peck-Man. That's right. I do my burpees. I did 100 burpees this morning. It's all good. My back.
There you go, man.
My back.
Make all them players do the burpees. They be so fit.
That's how it's done. Come on, let's go. Burpees. Let's do this shit. Let's make it happen.
Hey, all right.
Hey, so James, why don't you pull up the stats? Let's compare Cowboys and Chargers on stats, and that'll be pretty good. Actually, let's go to this view right here. There we go. A little bit bigger, guys. Can you guys see that? Okay. Okay, cool. So let's take a look at this. This is what are we looking at here, real quick? Oh, here we go. Total yards, passing, rushing, and points.
Yep. So just to kind of look at it, Cowboys last year were number 4 offense in the league. Number 4. So as in average yards, basically they did about total yards. What's their basing it? Well, actually, excuse me here. Hold on one second here. Let me change this up again. All right, here we go. That makes it a little bit better. I pressed the button earlier. So basically yards per game, they were just a little bit below us at 354 yards. We had 359 yards. So there's not really much of a change there, but there is going to be a change of minds on this. Which is going to be huge for us all around. If we start looking at the passing yards per game and see kind of where they're ranked at right now, passing yards per game, Cowboys actually aren't even in the, we were not even the top 15, I think, or 15, I believe, right here. Yeah. 219. So they were a little bit lower on that side of things. But then when we ended up going into rushing yards per game, we were abysmal. We're not on there by any means. We're terrible.
Horrible.
135 yards per game. The thing about it is the scheme is going to help out that run game. In my opinion, it's going to help tremendously for us. I feel strongly the reason why, just the stat that Andrew brought up earlier, is that we only had 13 yards or something rushing on the second half of the game against the Jaguars. We lost because we had no run game, and we did not know how to create a run game. We have got to be able to find a way to be able to at least be somewhat coherent and competent, I should say, as a run team. And even if we're at somewhere, this is probably in top 10, at 135 yards, that'd be a massive change for our team. I mean, we were last season. Here we go, boys. Here we go. We're 89 yards. 89 yards. You can't have that. You cannot have that, guys. Like,
if you're not even remotely in the hundreds, even 120s, it's like, wow, dude. Like, you're just struggling, man. You're just struggling.
The wild part of it is that you start looking at some of these guys. Bucks won their division, albeit with an 8-9 record.
God, they're horrible. Yeah.
Bengals, they got
terrible division.
Playoffs. They Vikings with Dalvin Cook, and then the Dolphins. They were under 100, and they were all find a way to the playoffs, but they really were leaning on the pass game. But once again, none of those teams went to the Super Bowl, right? None of them did.
None of them did.
When you have a balanced game, you can find a way to be able to get up there and get to a Super Bowl. Even if you look at, and it's interesting thing enough, and this is really on the fly that I'm thinking about this, Kansas City Chiefs are just at 115 yards rushing. And then you go back to the Eagles, which are, I think, more up from what I saw here. Eagles were 5th in the league at 147. So they played balanced. And I do think that we're going to find that balance a little bit more with Kellen Moore. To me, I think we got some good running backs. We just need to find ways to make our offensive line be better. Once again, he talked about simplify the offensive line in the scheme. That's the key to be able to make this thing happen. So
100%.
This is the stat I just want to point out for you guys. Chiefs and Eagles and the Bills, Cowboys. Cowboys were the 4th highest scoring per game team.
Yep. And they were awesome in the red zone too.
Yep. Awesome.
They were amazing in the red zone.
27.5 points per game. You realize how different that will be for our season, which I'll chat about. But I wanted to point out, offense gets you to the Super Bowl. 2 teams right here. 1-3 team, basically 29.2 points, 28.1. That'll get you guys deep in the playoffs. That'll find a way to be able to make it happen for you guys. Unfortunately, the Cowboys came against a Niners team that was just hot, and that's what happened to them. But going to us, we basically were at 23 points per game. In contrast, defensively, we were at 22.9 points giving up per game.
So every game was close.
Game was close every single time. We found ways to lose, basically. And the whole idea of this whole video is Kellen Moore will light up the scoreboard. Even if we stayed at that 22.9 points per game on defense, if we score 28 points per game, there's probably more of a possibility we're going to win a lot more games all around. So that's all I wanted to point out about the stats from last year. That's massive. That's going to be massive for us.
And not only that, you had Mike McCarthy, head coach, Cowboys, kept saying, sorry, I want my defense to rest, so don't go vertical all the time. And by the way, they didn't have the wide receivers that we have on our team right now, guys. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Josh Palmer, Darius Davis, Quentin Johnston. I mean, are you freaking joking? Jalen Guyton. I mean,
yeah, they had CD Lamb and Michael Gallup.
100%. Yeah.
100%. So
that's it. That's all they had.
That's about it. Yeah.
Yep. And like it, it's different. It's not. They're not the same guys. Now, again, so this is why I think you're going to see Allen and Williams probably have a little more of a rotation. I kind of suspect that we're going to use a lot of rookies on this and rotate people in and out. This is a good point. Athan, we did talk about this a little bit. My concern about the offense is only have 2 weeks because our coach didn't play anyone in the preseason. I don't suspect that changing at all, folks. Like, I just don't. Again, we do not want to have any injuries moving forward. And a few people brought this up about like Mike Williams not being out there. I heard people talk about his maybe needing back surgery. Darius Davis isn't playing currently in OTAs. And who was the other person? Palmer. Palmer's not out there.
Yeah.
And let me just say this. Brandon Staley specifically talked about this a couple of times. Look, at the end of the day, we don't want people out there that have any kind of injury, right? Or any kind of tweak of a back or anything like that. Let's just relax and go from there. And you're exactly right, Crystal. Lombardi's unimaginative and stagnant offense. It was just curls, it was outs, it was flats, it was just move the sticks. Any moron can run an offense like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, remember even people pointing out some of the plays that he played were from Madden. So it's not like
100%.
You're not going high level play calling by any means on this. So
yeah, right.
And by the way, I'm really glad that he's with the freaking Broncos. The freaking
the Broncos, the Donkeys,
the Broncos.
Yeah.
Still got to make a video on the Broncos. I got a bunch of material to chat with him on that. So
we actually, you should name that Broncos. Yeah, nice. It really good point. Yeah, we need to stop the run and and put and freaking bury some of these quarterbacks at this point, dude. Just get in their face, dry hump them all day. Kyle, what are you gonna say?
No, I mean I was just saying it's look, I mean our defense is really the thing that I'm actually most concerned about at this point. Because let's be honest, the past couple of years that we've had Staley, our defensive run game has been awful. Like we've not protected against the run very well at all, and we've had some luck with the pass game, but it's still struggling. And that's kind of one of the things that I wanted to point out is that even though Brandon Staley is supposed to be a defensive-minded person, but it still has not came to a fruition yet. We have not yet seen his lights out defense, except for a few flashes here and there, like the first half of the playoff game. But you got to finish the game in order to really make it matter for anything. But you know what? Hey, I got another guest here coming over here. It's like, yeah, someone who wants to say what's up.
Oh, what's up?
Yeah.
What's up?
Let's
Well,
go.
everybody, welcome Big Dan.
Big Dan, what up, brother?
Big Dan, how we doing, brother?
Yeah.
I love it.
How you
I love
doing?
it, man.
Hanging in there, man.
Absolutely.
How's the barbecue?
Yeah.
Hey, it's good, man. It's good. We're just waiting for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, dude. I would be there in a heartbeat, man. I would love to be there, man, for real, dude.
Man. You know,
No, you guys are good. You guys are good. You guys are here in spirit, brother.
That's right.
no doubt, man. You know, and these barbecues are major, man. It keeps the fans engaged, keeps everybody excited about the season, you know, keeps the brotherhood all together and everything, man. It's great you guys are doing all that, man, and coming together. It's great. We had one out here with Bolt Pride 602 not too long ago. Andrew and I, we were out here hanging out at that, and that was just awesome, man. It's great to be able to just be together with everybody and talk about the season, get everybody hyped, man. I can't wait.
Man, it's gonna be killer, bro. It's gonna be killer. It's gonna be
ready.
killer this season, brother.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
We got so much speed, dude. We got so much speed right now, bro.
Yep.
You know,
Speed,
it was interesting.
speed, strength, and button gut.
There we go. Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
You said button good, bro. I'm behind you. You know that, right?
That's classic. That's classic. I love it.
I love it.
No, but hey, it's amazing what you guys do, brother. It's amazing. We literally thank you, dude. We thank you, bro. Because if it wasn't for you guys, I mean, we wouldn't be getting this exposure, bro. And we just want to commend you, bro, on behalf of us, Los Rayos and Bolt Pride, bro. We just want to thank you very, very much, bro. We want to thank you guys.
Thank you. 100%.
Most definitely. We appreciate you guys, man, and what you guys do. We love it. We love it, man.
Absolutely.
We do it for the fans, man. We love it.
That's what I'm here for, bro. That's what I'm here for, brother. But I'm gonna let Kyle get back to doing what you guys do best, brother. I'm gonna go and check in. Hey, much love. Love you guys, though.
Love
Absolutely.
you. Yeah. See you, brother.
We'll see you up there right now.
See ya.
All right,
Hey,
brother.
If you see Rich, bring him back over here.
Okay, I'll grab him.
And,
All right, yeah.
I'll kidnap him.
Aether,
Yeah.
throw your question out again. We may have missed it. Maybe we didn't answer your question 100%. So throw it out there again.
Yeah, I know we chatted about just kind of like his conditioning type things, and I don't know if that's what he's kind of pointing on or not, but
Well, and I think that's a big part of it, right? Like, you know, the conditioning is big. I mean, Brandon Staley talked quite a bit about that too, and running the ball effectively, haymakers. I think we're going to do some screenplays as well too. A lot of motion, and again, Lombardi's offense was asinine. And really, here's the thing though too. It wasn't just asinine. The problem was it was so predictable. That was my frustration with it as well. This is a great point too by Dom as well. Fred Warner went to BYU, and that's where KVN went as well too. And Fred Warner and also KVN were both at BYU linebackers. And I will tell you, Fred Warner was he basically we ran the same damn defensive play all second quarter, and they shut us down.
yeah.
It just goes to show you that he didn't change anything. He changed abso-freaking-lutely nothing.
Yeah.
You don't win games in the NFL by not doing anything. You have to be aggressive. You have to move, right? Big Dan, love these guys. Speed kills. This is huge. And I mean, it's just, I'm telling you folks, like that's a big part of what we have to do moving forward, right? I mean, it is what it is. So, well, yeah. So folks, we're about at an hour right now. We'll probably want to just cut the feed at this moment. So guys, maybe James, Kyle, and then I can wrap up and we can end this stream right here. But again, what are your thoughts? Again, like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, please. Again, we still have 70% of our viewers. I think we had 70,000 views on our channel this last 30 days. Yeah. And it was a little over 70, maybe even 75% of our viewers have not actually subscribed. So just subscribe, guys. It takes a few seconds and go from there. So James, Kyle, and then I'll wrap up and we'll get out.
You know, the one thing that when we're talking about the subject to make this live and everything too, I was thinking, where are the strengths that where can we get better from this specifically? And one thing I looked a lot about with the Cowboys and seeing the history of Kellen Moore in his offense was I was thinking, well, where were we at last year about our offensive line? How many sacks did we give up last year? We basically gave up about 39 sacks last season. And I was thinking, that's kind of a high on that side. But when Kellen Moore's talking about simplifying things and keeping the offensive line a little bit more simplified, easier for them to do their jobs and do it well.
Yeah.
I was thinking, well, what did the Cowboys do last year? How many times did they give up sacks? 27 times. They only gave up 27 sacks last year.
And Dak Prescott doesn't run anymore. He doesn't run as much. Yeah.
Right. You realize, like, Herbert's got a little bit more wheels. He has the ability to move too. He can change things up, which sometimes being mobile gives up sacks too. But at the same side, I'm feeling like this offensive line is going to be one of the top offensive lines this year. I think I'm kind of putting it out there, maybe bold prediction. I think we'll be a top 5 offensive line next year. I think because of our scheme, the 11 and 12 man personnel type stuff, specifically 12 man personnel, will be extremely stout for us for our O-line. So I think Herbert's going to have a great year. And that's kind of one reason why I'm hanging my hat on that Herbert will be in conversation for MVP next season because our O-line is going to be top 5 in the league. So
Agreed.
I'm ready for it. Let's get it. Let's get that dub. Let's get into, hey, let's win the division. Let's go.
Let's sweep the stupid Chiefs.
Somebody do it.
Let's go.
Jeez.
That's right. You know, and every other team in our division actually really wants us to beat the Chiefs because, you know, all of us in this division are tired of the Chiefs being as good as they are. So that's the goal, just to beat the Chiefs.
It's funny. One of my buddies, and I'm sorry to cut you off on this, Kyle, but one of my buddies who's a Broncos fan, he's like, you know what, man? This might be the year that Mahomes gets injured, and then we all got a chance at this thing. You know, let's make it happen. And I was like, I don't want to put injury on anybody, but you know, it's going to happen at some point, right? It's a 100%
right.
Chance to get injured in the NFL.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was going to say, you know, I look at what was our weakest point from last season, and that was our run game, because our run game was really just a short pass game. And for whatever reason, you know, like you're saying, like the offensive line could have been a massive contributor to those problems. But I would also say the biggest problem with that was that Joe Lombardi abandoned all opportunity to use Xander Horvath as a lead blocker for Austin Eckler. Because let's face it, LT could not have been LT without Lorenzo Neal.
Yep.
Hands down. 100%. I'm sorry to say. And so we get Xander Horvath out there to lead block for Austin Eckler. We're going to have an amazing run game here. And I believe that Kellen Moore will use Xander Horvath a lot more in this defensive scheme, not only as a fullback, but potentially as more of a blocking tight end position situation too. Because that's the other part of the offense that I think that we need the most improvement on is our tight ends. Because, I love Gerald Everett. He's going to be our tight end one. But, you know, we have McKitty and we have Parham, who are both kind of like, well, are they really, you know, doing what they need to be doing right now? And I think that Kellen Moore is going to be able to pull that out of them and actually get them to the next level, because let's face it, we're probably not going to have Gerald Everett for too much longer. So, and so that's why they need to step up in order for them to secure a future with us or with another team. So I think those two areas in offense are going to be the greatest improvements for this year.
Yeah, and I'll wrap up here. And Pablo, yes, we are going to be there. Kyle's already got us potentially going to be on the field for training camp, so we'll be there for sure. We'll probably be game 1 or training camp 1, first open camp. We'll be out there as well. We're going to be there as much as possible. I know Kyle will be there a ton, so definitely connect with Kyle as much. I know Briscoe Broads are out there
every Saturday.
Talking to him quite a bit. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let me wrap up, and then we'll be out. Let Kyle go grab his sandwich and his burger, ribs, tacos, whatever you go be eating. Anyways,
Burger's a sandwich. Burger's a sandwich.
Hey, that's cool, man. Whatever.
Debate of the podcast: is a hot dog a sandwich?
Ooh,
yes, it is.
Between two buns.
It's between two buns. Let's go. Let's get it.
But
I will say this, folks. Look, the cool thing about literally what Kellen Moore is going to do is going to make things very simple. He's going to be aggressive, and he's going to make things easy for this team to succeed, right? One of the things that Rashawn Slater said, and also Keenan Allen said, he said he's simplifying things so we can play fast. So again, going back to blocking, going back to just tight end play, hitting a gap, running backs, keep it simple, stupid. That's exactly what Kellen Moore is going to do. And by the way, these are professional players. They know what they're doing. If you keep the scheme simple, which is what every team does, the Niners do it, the Ravens do it, the Steelers do it. They keep things very simple and repeatable. And that's what they're going to be seeing moving forward. So, again, guys, like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. And we are the Bolt Bros. And Kyle, enjoy yourself out there. We wish you were there, brother. You know, and love you, buddy. Love you, bro.
Love you, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro. Hey, you guys got to come out here next time, man. Come on now. Just like, yo, don't be shy.
I know.
No doubt.
I know. Yeah, you know we're shy. We're shy, guys. We're shy.
Yeah, you are. You're super shy. Yeah, that's right.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
We're the Bolt Bros. We'll see you guys in the next one.
See ya.